everybody, how's it going? Hope everybody is good. I know it's been a while since I put on my last video, but I have a lot to go into, so we're gonna jump right into this. Okay, let's jump right in. So I had found this, and actually, my mother-in-law had told me about it. So I went on to find it, and I found it, and I don't know, like, the legitimateness of this, but it was hilarious, so I had to put it on here. So check this out.
All right, Joey, it's your first press conference. It's not fun.
Now, this is supposed to be the person that's in his ear that tells him everything to say.
Get out. Let's do it just like we did in rehearsal.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay, now just read the first name on the list. Justin.
Okay.
Justin is the first one on the list. Just read him off. Oh, God, you're lost already.
Sorry. Oh,
Just first name. First name on the list. Justin. Oh, my God. Your predecessor didn't have to have somebody in the ear tell him how to do things.
my predecessor. Oh, God, I miss it.
Yeah, we all miss him. Just read the first name, Joe. His name is
Justin.
Justin. There you go.
Justin.
Good job.
Thanks, Mr. President.
The answers are right there in front of you.
I know that you've been on office for a couple
So
months.
just read what we wrote down and rehearse for the 2 weeks that we've been working on this. Just read it just like we worked on it, Joe.
So today, I'm wondering, are you more likely than you were when you came into office to maintain tariffs on China?
Just read the script, Joe.
Each specifically legitimate question.
Legitimate questions. Now, just...
I've known Xi Jinping for
Oh, God, here we go.
allegedly
Yeah, allegedly, you're in business with them, but just read the script, Joe.
more time with Xi Jinping than any world leader.
Oh, God. They don't want to hear about your
So
bromance.
I spent hours upon hours with him.
Oh, God.
With an
Shh,
interpreter.
no.
Sorry.
Crazy, right? Anyways, I bet it is like that, because I bet it's stressful trying to tell this guy what to do, and this guy don't know his freaking, arm from his kneecap. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. I'll put a link down in this video below, so you guys can go and check that out for yourself. It's hilarious. Okay, Italy enters 3-day Easter lockdown amid craziness snags, okay? Italy entered a 3-day nationwide lockdown Saturday to deter Easter travel and get-togethers, even as the country's variant-fueled spike in new infections began to wane. So, of course, they want to shut everything down for 3 days so you can't see any family, have any family around you. I mean, and it's supposed to be, Jesus' day. He is risen. And they want you locked down for that. They don't want you celebrating that, right? It's just insane to me. Okay, so they are literally trying to remove God and religion from every single thing. So help me God is a phrase often used to give an oath and most commonly optional as part of an oath of office. It is also used in some jurisdictions as a form of oath or other forms of public duty, such as an appearance in court, service as a juror, etc. Now, since the beginning of forever, it's been like that. Right? So you say the oath, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Well, they have removed so help me God from it. So now, just so help me, no God. They're literally, and I think this is why it's so easy for the devil and the evil to take over, because they're trying to remove God out of every aspect of everything. And, and you don't wonder why the world's headed for freaking disaster, and evil prevails and good is, walked right over. No, this was 16 years ago. Billy Graham's daughter. God is turning away from America and leaving us to our sins. She wrote this
Here, babe.
almost 5 years
Put the
ago.
cord off, honey. Dinner's done. What?
Almost 5 years ago, this was written.
I don't know.
And as bad as it was 5 years ago, it's tripled how it is right now. You guys can go and read this if you want. It's from CNS News. God is turning away from America because he's being pushed out is what's happening. So evil can prevail. Democrats urge Biden to remove God from America. Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin and California Democrat Jared Huffman have teamed up to urge Joe Biden to remove God from America in a 28-page document proposed by the Secular Democrats of America, PAC. Raskin and Huffman, who both chair the Congressional Free Thought Caucus, have presented the document to Biden last November 30th in an effort to roll back what former President Donald Trump has done. That is presenting America as a Christian nation. Oh, they don't want that, right? The Biden administration should quickly debunk the right-wing myth that personal free exercise of religion is a license to discriminate against other people in the provision of services in government and the marketplace. Trump's ministers and judges have turned religious free exercise into a weapon against anti-discrimination law, and this essential fallacy must be corrected. You have to ask yourself, why? Even if you don't want to get involved in all of the other things, you have to ask yourself why they're trying to remove God from America. And it only makes sense. I mean, look at everything that is happening today. Look at everything they show you on the news. It's all bad. All of it. The Supreme Court won't hear case involving So Help Me God in citizenship oath. I mean, it's crazy. My mother-in-law had court, like virtual court, for something she had to do. And when they had her take the oath, yeah, they took out So Help Me God. And she said not one person said that. It was not said at all. That is totally insane to me. But it's all over. And this was June 17th, 2019. Democrats officially removed So Help Me God from House Committee oath. Well, they can't, swear under oath and pledge their allegiance to God when that's not who they believe in, when that's not obviously who they follow. You get the gist. Nike gets a temporary restraining order to halt the sale of Lil Nas X Satan shoes. The crazy, who even comes up with something like this? In an attempt to halt a New York art collective from using their signature swoosh, Nike has obtained a temporary restraining order against the maker of Satan shoes, a pair of modified Nikes decorated with symbols of the occult and a drop of human blood. A U.S. District Court in the provocative company that produced the shoes from fulfilling the rest of its orders. The Satan shoes, made in collaboration with rapper Lil Nas X to coincide with his Hell Set music video for Montero, were made from modified Nike Air Max 97s and feature a bronze pentagram, an inverted cross, and a soul filled with red, according to MSCHF, one drop of human blood. These are the kinds of things that they're making right now. Satan shoes with human blood inside and a cult. Like, these are what... See, that... I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. I think that's completely insane. Who would buy a pair of these shoes? And I bet, parents would buy them for their kids too, which is even worse. It's the world that we live in. Satan reigns and God is walked over. It's nuts. Oh yes, Bill Hates. Bill Hates is thinking about dimming the sun. The billionaire is backing a study of the controversial technology called solar geoengineering. Of course he does. Of course, why wouldn't you want to block the sun? You know? Gates and other private donors are backing Harvard University's solar geoengineering research program, which will soon launch a new study researching the efficacy of blocking sunlight from reaching Earth's surface. This week, the influential National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine also released a new report urging the U.S. government to spend at least $100 million to study solar and geoengineering, a controversial technology. What benefits would he get? What would he get out of blocking the sun? Except plants, things won't grow, right? No plants, no food. They won't grow. No vitamin D for you. You have a vitamin D deficiency, you get sick because they've already killed your immune system. It's totally insane that you gotta, this is what I say, this is my new thing. This is my new philosophy. When you're trying to get a point across to somebody that doesn't see things the same way that you do, right? If you're trying to wake somebody up to something, you cannot come out of the gates with throwing a whole bunch of crazy information at them and expect them to take in any of it. They're just going to think that you're insane. So what I'm trying to do, and the whole point of the reason that I'm making these videos the way that I am, is because you may not have heard, or you may not necessarily have thought of these things in the light that I am presenting them in. Maybe you have heard about them, but maybe you just didn't see them in this way that I'm trying to describe them. So if you break off and show people little pieces of things here and there that's spread all across, not just what we're talking, not just medically what's going on,
Middle of the road.
but also, with everything that's going on, from the food, the water, the air, everything. Every single thing, from the shoes that they're trying to make to sell you. It's just, if you look at things that way, piece by piece, maybe you'll have a better chance of understanding and reaching that person. That's all I'm trying to do here. Okay. Actually, let me go to this one first. Now these, right here, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get in trouble. But these that are given to your child between 1 and 2 months of birth, between being born and 2 months. These are all of these. These are all of these that are put into your baby, right? You get the hepatitis B, Hep B, diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough. HIV, polio, pneumococcal disease, rotavirus. All of these things, all within the first 2 months of being born, right? Is your newborn's baby immune system strong enough?
Go on the road again. You guys are riding down the road.
I'm going to find it right here. An infant's immune system does not mature until around 2 to 3 months,
Here's the thing.
Dr. Sabella says. So if you know that your infant's immune system does not mature until at least 2 to 3 months,
For the corner.
means that from 0 to 2 months, when they are having all of these things put into them, their immune systems are not built and not strong enough to protect them. Okay? So that is already a problem. Right from birth, you're having these toxins put into you, knowing that your baby's body cannot handle it. But that's what it's all about, right? That's exactly what they want.
I don't want it.
No, I'll cut it in half for you. But
Okay, for those of you who are like to go out to eat and don't want to stay home and want to go out, they have a nose mask only. So it doesn't cover, so your mouth is free to eat, but your nose is covered. Like, you know, just another way for them to make you look like a fool and to take your money. Because you know there's people out there that would buy this to go out to a restaurant. Krispy Kreme donuts, free food, pay increase, and transportation for those who want to get indoctrinated.
Take that upstairs, baby.
Hold on a second, I gotta relocate.
Thanks for leaving all the work to me. Your kids were playing in the middle of the throat.
Okay. Krispy Kreme Donuts is offering anyone with proof of receiving the indoctrination a free donut a day for the rest of 2021. Rideshare companies Lyft and Uber.
Anna, let's go!
Rideshare companies Lyft and Uber are both offering free or discounted transportation to and from those certain appointments. You know, jobs and these companies are trying to give incentives for people to go and get this done, knowing that people will jump at the chance if they can get something out of it, right? Not mattering what it does to them. Surprise, surprise. Ontario is locking down for 28 days to slow the craziness happening there. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is expected to announce a new round of shutdown measures for 28 days in the Canadian province in response to record numbers of patients. 28 days. Now they'll just come right out and tell you, we're locking you down for another month. So they've got another month to look forward to not being able to go to work, not being able to make money, not being able to pay bills. It's never ending. It's going to be a never ending cycle. Okay, the emergent plant that ruined the J&J toxin had prior FDA violations. Now, again, just goes to show you that before, so they had failed. They had all these violations in this plant before they were allowed to make and manufacture this toxin, right? They knew that this place had prior violations and was not in tip-top shape where it was supposed to be. And still they allowed them to make it there, knowing that things could go wrong, knowing that it could not be quote-unquote safe, and they were just going to ship it out to you guys anyways. Do you not see? If they cared so much, they would have never even let that happen there. It's too crazy. Okay. This is I just put this in here to show you that America, you guys, we don't matter. Okay, the American people do not matter. There are 11 banned foods Americans should stop eating. 11 banned foods that are banned in other places that we are still allowed to eat, right? Number 1 is dough conditioners. Dough conditioners such as potassium bromate and this are chemicals used to improve the strength and texture of bread dough. They are found in white breads, rolls, and egg breads. However, they are possible human carcinogens, right? Of course, and exposure to them is known to cause respiratory sensitivity such as asthma or other breathing difficulty. But eat on. Keep eating it. Keep eating it. We'll just keep giving it to our people. Brominated vegetable oil. I'm not going to read all these. I'll go down and say what they are, and then you guys can go and check this out. Propylparaben, BHA and BHT, synthetic food dyes, GMOs, roxarsone, ractopamine, herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides, olestra, synthetic hormones. All of these things are banned in other countries, but the American FDA says it's safe to put in America's food. Why? Because they don't care if you get sick and die. That's what they're hoping for. Here again, 16 foods in US that are banned in other countries. There's just so many. You guys can go and check this out. This is from the Daily Mail. The 16 foods in US foods, the 16 things in US foods are banned in other countries. I'm just, like I said before, I'm just taking little by little, trying to show you what is going on. We're almost done. I gotta get things. Okay. New study finds toxic chemicals in water systems across the U.S. More than a third of water samples taken from across the United States had potentially toxic forever chemicals at levels above the maximum recommended by experts. Potential toxic forever chemicals are human-made chemicals including PFOA and PFOS that don't break down easily, if at all, and accumulate over time in both the environment and the body. Currently, the government doesn't have an enforceable legal limit to the amount of PFAS in drinking water. I wonder why that is. Because they don't care, maybe, but or because there's just this crazy amount that if they put a limit on it, people wouldn't. They'd be screwed, right? But the report used recommendations established by CR scientists and other health experts. Americans shouldn't have to navigate bureaucracy and be forced to make significant investments in order to access clean tap water. An expert at the American Chemistry Council, however, noted that only 2 samples were above the EPA's health advisory and none were above the maximum allowable concentrations set by Canada's National Health Agency. Well, why are we going by Canada's National Health Agency when we have our own? The EPA, this is what I'm saying. You can't, if you took each one of these things and looked at them all separately, you might think, well, that's not good, but it doesn't mean that they don't care. But when you look at all of these things together, it's proof that they don't care. They're literally poisoning us from every single aspect. Is there birth control in your drinking water? Okay. An estimated 12 million women in the United States are on some form of hormonal birth control. This is a huge number. It is such a large number, in fact, that it led many researchers in environmental science to conclude that birth control pollutes the water supply. Estrogen levels in drinking water have risen by the thousands in recent decades. If birth control is to blame, there is a very big problem on our hands. Moreover, estrogens in the water supply may be a serious concern for human health. Environmental estrogens can cause estrogenic symptoms in men, like breast tissue growth and low libido, and can cause fertility disruption in women. Simply drinking tap water may be enough to cause that kind of disruption. Do you hear that? Simply drinking tap water may be enough to cause this kind of disruption, as far as men growing breast tissue, low libido, and fertility disruptions in women. How can you still think that they are out for you? That the powers that be are looking out for you? They are not. Sorry, that's crazy here all the time. All right, we're almost done. 9 ways stress is more dangerous than you think. And I simply put this here because people who religiously watch the news, like every day, are more stressed out than people who don't watch TV at all. That's just a proven fact. You can look that up yourself, actually. But the stress that they cause you by making you live in fear, by making you, hate everybody around you, it's to make you sick. It's all of this. Everything I have shown you is to make you sick, to keep you unhealthy. And it's just not good. We have to, we can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. The destructive power of hate. And this is important, especially right now, because everybody hates everybody. And it's totally done on purpose. And the powers that be are laughing because they are getting away. They are literally making their plan come into play. Poison isn't always something you eat or drink. It can be an emotion, and hate is one of them, eating you up inside and causing destruction. Do you have hate in your life? Read on for ways to control it before it damages you or your loved ones. I just want to read this section here. If you want, you can go back and read the whole thing. Hate is a mighty strong emotion. This mental venom can pollute your spirit, poison your soul, and seep into all of the relationships that surround you. Anyone who has found themselves wrapped up in the arms of hate knows how damaging and mind-consuming it can become. Even the word carries power, particularly if it comes from a friend, a family member, or a child. While hate can be directed at almost anything, animals, food, jobs, movies, the most destructive hatred towards other people. Right? That's the world that we are in today. Everybody hates everybody. And you can't allow yourself to fall into that because it's literally meant to destroy you. You can go on and read this. It's Everyday Health. Check it out. The destructive power of hate. All right. During the lockdowns, during this pandemic, domestic violence is up 8.1% during the pandemic. Does that surprise anybody? It doesn't surprise me, but it's what they wanted. Okay? Youth depression, suicide increasing during pandemic response. Again, all done on purpose. All done on purpose. And they're getting exactly what they wanted. Hunter Biden says he was smoking crack every 15 minutes. More jaw-dropping moments from memoir, Beautiful Things. I'm not going to go into this. I just wanted to read this little section right here. His candid chronicle of his drug and alcohol-fueled binges and relationships with Beau's widow, Haley Biden, are sure to shock, but don't let all the blank fool you. Biden has found... Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. If you go in to read all about this, it's all about him and how he was a terrible person and he was a drug addict and all these things. But yet, because he's the president's son, they all want you to look at him and their family like they are something great. They're not. All right, this is the last thing, and then I'm going to end this here. A Virginia man who got the J&J craziness developed a severe rash that spread over his entire body and ended up making his skin fall off. He's 74 years old. He said he began to feel a little discomfort in his armpit, and then a few days later he began to get an itchy rash, and then after that he began to swell and his skin turned red. The rash proceeded to spread over his entire body, causing his legs and arms to swell and his skin to peel off. That's sick. I mean, you guys can go on and read this, but I'm going to end this here. There's too much going on right now. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope it helped at least one of you. Please hit that like button and share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, just stay strong.